I've noticed that people with ADHD are incredibly hypervigilant in social situations and they're incredibly perceptive. It's like they can keep several tabs open all at once. Now, different people have varying levels of skills in relation to this. Some people will just get so distracted in a conversation that they look like they're not listening and they look like they're monitoring something over there. And that can be a bit off putting. Other people are so perceptive who have ADHD that they can subtly monitor things that are going on all at once, including being very sensitive to what other people are thinking. And they can do this all in a very skilled way to the point that no one will really notice how perceptive they're really being because it's very subtle and it doesn't look like they've stopped paying attention to you speaking while they're also monitoring a lot of things happening all at once. So why are people with ADHD like this? Why are they so hypervigilant in social situations and why are they so perceptive? People with ADHD are naturally emotionally sensitive individuals, which means that they're experiencing a lot of emotions in social situations. This can mean that they can be sensitive to social rejection, particularly if they care a lot about what other people think of them. It can also mean that they're connecting on quite a deep level. So they're actually sensing the emotions of other people. When someone stops listening in a conversation, they will notice that immediately because they are so tuned in. If you're into energy work, you might have come across the idea that our energy fields are about 6 foot long. So if we're standing close to someone, we're actually picking up on them energetically, which means that we're actually going to be able to sense what they're feeling. And what you end up making of this really depends on you as a person. If you are afraid of what people think of you and you're sensitive to rejection, you may sense their disinterest or you may sense their judgments and you may sense their shift in energy as being a negative perception towards you. If you care less about what people think of you, you will just have a social advantage because you'll be able to pick up on shifts in energy. You can kind of sense what people are feeling, thinking, and have a generally good idea about that, particularly if you've done some ego work. Meaning that you have worked on your ego so much you don't really care that much about what people think of you. And then you have a social advantage in these situations if you have ADHD because you can sense what people are thinking and feeling and you can kind of gauge that and you can navigate the situation around that. People with ADHD are social connectors. They really like to connect with other people and they can do that on quite a deep level if given the opportunity and if they can manage all of the internal stuff like their emotional worlds and their fear of what people are thinking of them and all of this stuff. They can connect on a very deep level because they tend to be more extroverted. So if they can manage all of this emotional stuff that's going on within them, they can actually learn to use this to their advantage. But ultimately, I think it's a survival strategy that people have learned because from a young age, they were sensing a lot in social situations and therefore it is to their advantage to become perceptive. And this is why they become quite hypervigilant because they are trying to control and monitor what's going on in a social situation because it's a lot for their nervous system. And therefore, the ADHD usually as they progress through life becomes more and more perceptive because they want to be able to manage their emotions and also because they're picking up on so much emotions from other people in social situations, they want to be able to still be able to be in a social situation while managing the emotional overload and managing how much they're sensing and how much they're picking up on.